It's January 9th, 2024. I'm in my boot, and I'm on my crutches. I went to Northwell Health, um, the STARS Rehabilitation for physical therapy. Again, I don't want people to think chemical rehabilitation when it's clearly physical rehabilitation for the broken bone and the screws and plate. The surgeon calls it a royal screw for whatever that means. For me to remember, I think the ORIF. Um, so I went there. I'm wearing these sunglasses that I got from a local street fair. They know who sponsored them. Um, and I entered the building. Now, there's something I should probably mention. Who I don't know the landlord of that particular building, but it's not handicap friendly. And again, I don't want to get into the minutia of who is retrofitting buildings, who's accommodating the handicapped, who's not. I don't have a dog in that fight except temporarily with the crutches. Um, Everything works fine. The buttons on the elevator are low enough I can get in and out of the facility by myself, except I can't open the front door by myself. Um, I have to ask my father for assistance, or if there's a stranger, I have to ask the stranger to open the door so I can get through in the crutches. Um, and again, for this conversation, as tough as nails as I am, and as New York is, I still am a lady. I'm still a mother. I'm still someone's daughter. And I can push it really hard when need to. But there is a time where there's a recuperation. So I'm now relying on others to open the door for me, um, in order to enter this STARS physical therapy and rehabilitation. Um, so I'm in this place now on the AM FM dial. I've heard some alien language that I can't even identify. I've heard there's actually Spanish speaking stations on the radio dial in New York. I don't know how. I don't know who sold them airspace. I don't know how they got a toehold, a foothold, or whatever you want to call it. I've also heard something in the Asian category of perhaps Korean or Chinese, but I can't decipher the difference because I don't speak either language. Um, there's no American country music in New York to speak of. I have to use something called Starlink through the Subaru that has this, like, I don't know if the channel came in one day and they saved it on the radio panel and then it disappeared because, or if my father somehow was able to program it. I have no idea. I don't know how technology works at that level, but I have this one New York country station. But if I go into the Mini Cooper, same station plays some classic 90s Black Sheep music and Tribe Called Quest and a whole lot of other things that I was around for in the 90s. But again, um, so there's this. I went into North Shore Rehabilitation, the Stars Rehabilitation, and the day after New Year's and after America's Big Bash with Nashville, um, and listening to, and Dustin Lynch was in New York for this year with Lonnie Quinn, who's the weatherman for Channel 2. Not to upset Jeff Smith on Channel 7, because again, EO me EO. He very much looks like the NASA representative, and I apologize. I don't know. I know John Glenn's name now. I took a book out to be respectful for my driving abstract here. Anyhow, um, so I go into this rehabilitation center. The day after New Year's, American Country was playing. I loved it. It was wonderful. It was not a busy time. It was just me and the physical therapists, or the, okay, I'm sorry, the physical therapists and I. Um, and so it's like changing a dial on how do I speak? Do I speak New York native or do I speak proper? It's a crapshoot at this point. Um, so I'm in there, and there is today, which is the ninth, I believe, 8th or the ninth. Um, I said it when I first started. I had to view it on the calendar. Um, Today there was French music playing. We talked about it. I had today a physical therapist that, if I'm speaking St. John's preparatory in the class of 95, 96, he looked like Corey. I don't know Corey's last name, so don't ask, but in the whatever, whatever, whatever. So that was interesting. Um, and they played French music the entire time I was in there. There was one country song today, and then the rest was all in the language of French. Um, and again, this is Northwell Health System. Um, Music choice does matter, um, especially for the residents. I don't know why. I don't know who else was in the facility today. I looked at their faces. Again, it was a very, it looked like, it looked like between the patients that were there and um, the the physical therapist crew, it looked like a United Nations. I felt very much like the only American in there, um, for the purposes of the I put on this morning. I just, Lewis came into the kitchen this morning singing "It's My Party" and "I'll Cry If I Want to," and so I had to look that one up. It turns out that's Leslie Gore. I looked at the album cover and I'm like, wow, if that is not just a sign of the times, Lewis. For my documentation and journal entry, never knew what Leslie Gore looked like, but in like the this horror story, the gore, it just made sense, I suppose. Um, so, uh, so that's what's going on. So I was very thankful and grateful for having someone, at this stage of I need physical rehabilitation. And then I was sitting there thinking of Dan from study hall and the fact that he went to Yale and his Yale law degree, um, and the fact that we went to Florida on that excursion. Um, we met in study hall. Uh, so I am thinking of him. And I'm thinking of this thing I heard once upon a time um, about consent and implied consent. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But again, when I was a cheerleader, I know what the chant was on the basketball court. Um, I know I went to nationals. I know I got hurt at nationals, and there was a physical therapist there that I would have gladly replicated, um, if I could, but that choice and freedom was taken from me. And I don't know what year it was taken from me exactly, having access to it. I also documented this morning, I caught on the news cycle they have messaged on the side of one of the buses with this migrant asylum crisis going on. It said US crew change. And I saw what was coming off of that. Um, and they're, I think they're speaking Spanish. Um, so that's worth mentioning. And then it the NFL playoffs say that they're set on CBS. I caught a whole couple of news cycle headlines. I looked at what the White House official looks like, what his administration's Secretary of Defense looks like, what his chair for the Air Force looks like, and what his vice president looks like. And I have to say to myself, in a monetary system where there is there's a set of rules and regulations that are defined and that exist, it looks like public intimidation or party intimidation by the U.S. Armed Services. Again, they have like the five branches, is what they call them in the series of rooms I've been in. They're branches of service. I don't know where the five great houses are. Um, Again, between the geography and oceanography and like the whatever's going on at God, which I'm not defining what the D is, and I'm purposely not defining what the D is, because each situation seems to be different. Um, but it just seems like intimidation, and I'm not sure the trajectory of how to define that properly because I'm caught between these two generations of Leslie Gore came before me saying it's my party and I'll cry if I want to, while my mother was growing up, and then after me comes Taylor Swift with a song, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. So, and I'm just stuck in New York, trapped. um I've been, during my season, it's almost like these blemishes on my record of a meeting with a crazy donkey, and then um and these are like forced relationships because I didn't choose this relationship. I didn't want to foster this relationship. I didn't even want to enter this relationship. Um, and then later to be set up on a meeting with a blacksmith and then to find out it's like somebody asking you to hold something, and then as it gets unwrapped you're like, oh no no no, that's not mine. Like that's not my gift, that's not my anything. I don't want to get stuck with it. It's a problem. I can see it's a problem. How do I get out of this? And then not having that backup and reinforcement, like where was my big brother then? VIP, like MVP. I'm just curious. In like the big wide world of things and protecting one's kid sister, where is that level of camaraderie and dependability? I just don't understand. I don't. I don't game. I'm not part of the sports and entertainment package. Really, I'm not. Um, and it's just it looks like intimidation, and I'm not sure if it's party derived. I'm not sure if it's the armed services. I don't know which branch it would be. But it is like, again, is it a UFO? Is it a UAP? If I have to speak in grave concern um, to the dear in God we trust at the God, um, that's where I'm at today. I don't know why I don't walk into a Northwell Health inside of New York on Long Island, the North Shore of the Long Island Sound. I don't know why the sound on the playlist is not American country music all day long. Rednecks as far as the eye can see. Again, we're at the mouth of a key position for American and national security. Like the land matters, the ocean matters, the skies matter, the people matter. I don't understand why there's so much degradation um, in this one area. It's frightening. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.